I did a thing. I wrote a book. I wrote like a journal workbook specifically for women that addresses the whole woman, mind, body, not just body and weight, and mental health. And I did the whole thing and I put it on Amazon and let's talk about it. This is my first KDP. Okay, so I want to start off by saying anybody can do a self-published book through Amazon. And part of the reason that I am wanting to make this video, other than being pumped and wanting to share this with the world that I completed something from start to finish, was to encourage other people out there. First of all, this might actually serve you, so we can talk about that, and I'm going to tell you what's in it. But other people who have looked at the KDP, or people who have always had the dream of self-publishing. I probably should make another video on just that whole process, but this was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but then it was also a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to make this video just kind of about my book and why I wrote it and what's in it. But I think I will also make another book, another video, just the process of making my first KDP book and what that looks like. So, because I plan on doing quite a few more. But let's go ahead and dive into what this book, this weight loss journal workbook, is about. And if you're so inclined, I wouldn't mind if you want to follow for more content, hit the like button. And even more than that, I would love feedback as we go through this journal, this workbook. If you see anything that I can improve, that I could make better, that maybe I forgot, that doesn't make sense, that needs more clarity, please put it in the comments. You will not hurt my feelings. I really would like to create the ultimate workbook for women who struggle with weight, but also struggle with self-image and maintaining a weight loss, but also trying to find the beauty of who they are right now, no matter what the scale says. And that was the why behind this book. Just a real quick background, if you're new to my channel, I about 12 years ago, I'm almost 12 years post-op, vertical sleeve gastrectomy. And in that time, I lost about 100 and I don't know, it's like 130, 150 pounds. And I had to keep journals. I had to meet with dietitians. I had to meet with the bariatric surgeons. Then over the years, I had to meet with the psychologists and counselors and all these things. And there was just so many facets to losing the weight, and it was so overwhelming. And I do plan on actually revising this and make this specifically for post-bariatric patients. But this book was designed for any woman who is going through a weight loss journey. And, you know, if you're struggling with weight, and you've always struggled with weight, you and I both know that it's just not well, eat less and you'll lose the weight and exercise more. There's just so much of, it's like almost all a mental component. And I could never find a workbook and a journal that would address all those pieces. And as somebody who struggles with ADHD, I need a guided journal. I needed somebody to tell me where to put the things, or else it was too abstract and it was too big of a project and I just couldn't do it consistently. And so one thing as I was designing this, I was like, there has to be a start and an end. It can't just be this forever journal, because then it's too abstract, right? It needs to be a little bit more concrete. So I made this specifically for 12 weeks. And just to rewind what it says here on the front, if you can see it, I love your thoughts on this cover. I thought the cover was really, really beautiful when I was designing it. I'll be honest, I think it might be a little too dark. And I'm thinking about making another version that's a little bit lighter, but just aesthetically curious what your thoughts are on this cover. Is it blah? This also comes in hardback. And then this is the soft version. I did choose to do this shiny because there was feedback on like darker covers that if you do that more matte, you can see fingerprints on it. So this is my copy. It's called A Guided 12-Week Weight Loss Journal Focusing on the Whole Woman. I Am More Than a Number was the title. Staying focused, embracing change, and enjoying the ride. So I kind of really went into my why of like, what could I have used that was easy for me to do, that was walking me through the steps, and that at the end of the 12 weeks, not only was the scale maybe down a little bit and my waist was maybe a little bit more cinched in, but I felt like I wasn't coming out of that 12 weeks exhausted and tired and beaten up. I want a woman to be able to come out of that 12 weeks understanding her why and who she is, and also have a way to present data to their dietitian, their OBGYN sometimes. If you're dealing with, maybe some thyroid issues, or, if you're dealing with other issues. As I'm a speech and language pathologist, I'm a medical speech and language pathologist, and what I've learned working in the medical field is the doctors only know what they know, and they need data in order to make decisions. And I was like, how can we address the data component? How can we address the mind and body component? And then feel like we're winning at the end, and then also maybe making some really good changes, emotionally, and the way we look and the way we reward ourselves. And so that's what this is. So as I open it up here, I have a little Dear Reader thing here, kind of explaining what's in it, what's about it. And this is essentially what I had put in the Amazon description, and then who the journal belongs to. And then this was when I was first designing it. I don't know if you've ever done weight loss journals, but I always feel like the women that they have on there, they're all like already super skinny or super fit with a six pack. And I got this drawing that I just like absolutely love. Look how gorgeous she is. So, I mean, she's gorgeous. She's like perfect. But she's curvy. And I was like, I like embracing, still keeping that curviness, if that's something that's okay with you, and what you're wanting. And that it's okay. We're not necessarily going for rails, skinny, thin, we're just going for healthy. So there's a page to put your, oops, sorry, that's annoying. And there's a page to put your starting photo, and then a lot of positive affirmations. My body is serving me. I am ready to be healthier and stronger. I am beautiful. And then your starting measurements. Okay. And something fun that I thought was interesting is I think I put it in this. Yeah, I put a ring size. When I lost all that weight, I had to go down like 3 ring sizes. And so that was something different that I had never seen in a journal before, but that was something that I wish I would have put what my original ring size was. And your starting weight. And then as a therapist, we always need motivators, right? We need ways to track our progress and get our pats on the back, the atta girls, the atta boys. So these are the 2 things to come back to as you have changed. So one is, as the scale moves, you can put down your numbers. And then this one was the mind body component. And you see all those little flowers, right? And it says every day pick a color. And so red, you find a flower and you color it red if you worked on both your mind and your body. Pick a blue if you only worked on your mind that day. So maybe you couldn't exercise, or you just didn't track your food, or you just, maybe it was like a mental health day, right? And green is that you only worked on your body today. So they're all positive. It's not like you sucked, you didn't complete the assessment, you didn't do what you were supposed to. You're still getting the affirmation of, I showed up for myself. And maybe I was able to, show up for myself, for my mind and my body. But that way you can visually look and go, wow, this is like a very blue heart, or this is a very green heart, or this is a very red heart, to really assess your, like where you're prioritizing yourself. I'm really excited about that. Okay. And then now I believe in daily affirmations. I believe if you speak it, you can achieve it, because our body will do what our mind tells it. Right. And so I put a space, because you'll see every week you'll pick an affirmation, but where you can kind of mentally dump. These are my 12, here's some affirmations that I really want this for myself. And it can be things of, I am enough in my body. My body is serving me. That can be an affirmation. It can be, I am beautiful in the skin that I am. I am worthy of showing up for. I am a calm person. I am a healthy person. I make good choices so that I can live a long life. Whatever those affirmations, I wanted to leave a space to just, like, when you're in a good mental space, have a hot cup of tea or something, that you can write all those beautiful, positive things about yourself. And I also think this is a good component or a good place that, say you're working with a therapist or you're working with a counselor, that you can work with them to write those down so that they're serving you. And then we go into, you can see this is really guided. So then we're going into loving me now. I am worth celebrating. So this is an area where you're going to, and again, this would be a great area to take to a counselor, but you're going to figure out how your why and how you can reward yourself away from maybe calories. So I'm just going to read it to you. I will find healthy ways to celebrate my wins, work through difficult situations, and define the reasons why I am worth being the healthiest version of myself. And I really wanted to stress health and fitness and not being skinny, because that's just so stupid, right? And in fact, as somebody who's been skinny before, I was actually the most unhealthy of my life when I was the skinniest. So it doesn't equate to health, in my opinion. And then there's just some prompts. So when I am struggling with stress, anxiety, and depression, I will what? So instead of being in a place of stress and then going in and feeling like you're failing, what are some ways that you want to uh, what are some goals that you want to set for yourself so that when you find yourself in a difficult situation that you would maybe normally go and eat? What are 3 different options that you want to give yourself? So if you're in a panic, you can go to your book and go, okay, nope, I've already thought about this. This is going to be my choice. So things don't just happen to you, you have some control. So this is a way to kind of give yourself some control. The way I plan to reward my successes are, right? So really quick, just to rewind, stress and anxiety and depression. I am struggling with stress, anxiety, and depression. I will. What are some examples? So if you're like, Christine, I have no idea what I would do. I just could go get a piece of cake and eat a cake. Go for a walk. Go have a nice, if I need the oral gratification. I would get like a hot cup of tea and honey, and I would make sure I have like my favorite tea. But when I'm feeling anxiety, that's the only time I get that tea. Something silly like that, right? Or it could be, if I'm feeling stress and anxiety, I am going to call my so-and-so, my person, or I'm going to stop and I'm going to read my affirmations, whatever works best for you. Okay, I'm going to the ways I plan to reward my successes are. So finding things that, like, say by successes, it could be a non-scale victory. It could be that you actually went and checked here and dealt with stress and anxiety in a more positive way. So now you want to reward your success. Finding ways that you can reward yourself outside of food and outside of calories. Okay. I love that my body is, that's the next prompt. I love that my body is serving me. I love that my body allows me to hug my children. I love that my body is soft. I love that my body has allowed me to XYZ hike. I love that my body is still here, you know? I love that my body allows me to serve others and to be there for others. So there's a lot of reasons to love your body, not just yourself, but also your body. I love that XYZ. I am working hard so I can what? Like, what's the point? If the point is just to get skinny, that I can tell you right now, that's just fleeting and it won't stick. So I am working hard so I can go hiking with my kids without dying, so that I can go on this trip in 3 months and feel more confident, so that I can sit down in an airplane seat and not need an extender, so that I can get my diabetes under control. I am working hard. What is the ultimate why of why you're willing to change it up for 12 weeks? And I show up for myself every day because. And that, I think, is going into the inner you. Like, why are you worth showing up for? Okay. And then, so those are kind of like the initial exercises. And then we go into each week. So there's 12 weeks. Okay. And then I picked a fun little quote for each week, and you put your date so it can be customizable. This one is eliminate the mindset of I can't, because you can do anything, Tony Horton. And you can see, so we have a nice page for the week, and then we start week 1. All right. And then we carry over that little saying. So that's kind of your quote for that week. And then this is now where we go. So we had our overall goals for the 12 weeks. And now each week you're going to have a way to analyze your goals for that week, reassess, reevaluate. So at the beginning of the week, you're going to have setting your goals. And then you'll see at the end of the week, you're going to be like, how did I do? Did I do good or did I not do good? Okay. So my mental health goals for this week are 3 affirmations for this week are I will reduce stress and anxiety and depression by. And then you have what are your sleep goals? How many hours of sleep a night are you looking towards to get? Now, just on that fun fact, if you're only sleeping 5 hours a night, and that's how you've been for a long time, don't put a goal of 9 hours. A goal needs to be measurable and achievable. And so maybe saying, I'm going to try to get consistent 6 hours of night, 5 days this next week. And that is considered a win. Okay, so make sure your goals are achievable. Don't set them way outside the ability to even make that happen. And then I have an area to put any vitamins that you need to take. So you can list those out, make sure you have enough. And then so we kind of have more like mind goals here. And then this is all your body goals. So your intake goals, which is what you eat, right? So what your starting week is. So you're only going to weigh yourself once a week, and what your goal weight is. Okay. And I think that it should be your goal weight for the end of that week, but you can make it whatever you want. It's just a workbook. And then what your carbs per day goal is, what your calories per day goal is, what your protein per day goal is, and then what your water intake goal. Okay, so how many ounces of water? And then it says other intake daily goals. So if you're working with a dietitian and you've got to get XYZ, whatever it is. So this can be used for multiple different kinds of diets. Fun fact, I've also, and I'll make another video on this because I have that book coming. I wrote another one specifically for keto, but this is a little bit more overall, and I will be making one just for post-bariatric patients too. Okay, sorry, squirrel. Goals for body. The last portion of this for your weekly goal is steps per day, daily activity calories to burn goal, and I kind of put that off for the watch, like my watch. So say I'm going for 300 activity calories, I even say that's my goal for this week every day. Cardio daily goal, strength training goal, stretch goal, and any other goals that you might have. And you can put yoga. I mean, you can put whatever works for you. Then you go into week one's meal guide. Okay, so you have a blank area, day 1 through 7, and you can put your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, and then you can total up every day's carb, calorie, and protein total. And then here I left a little area for a shopping list for the week, anything that you need to go ahead and buy. That way you have everything visualized, you know that you're set up for success, life isn't just happening, you're in control. Then you go to day 1. Okay, so every day, and also let me know if you think this is too big. It's very thick, I think. And it's very large, but I designed it so that it was big. I think I may make a smaller, more pocket version of this, but I wanted areas that for people that can actually write, and I wanted to include everything. So I'm, love to hear if you're like, you can cut this out, put it all on one page, and you can make the whole thing smaller. So for each day, it's going to ask for the following things. So you'll see here, day 6. So you can cross off your water intakes, and you can make these in as much as you want. It could be 4 ounces, 8 ounces, 16, whatever. So you have your goal, and then you whatever. And then how many hours you slept? How cute. Did you say your daily affirmation? So it's kind of a way to help hold you accountable to do the things that you say you really want to do and that you want to make a priority. So you can say, yes, I said them, or no, I didn't. And then reminder, it says color in your daily petal. So just to remind you to go back to the heart and color in your daily petal that we talked about. And then breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. So you can put your foods, and then I'll say that. And then your calorie total, carbs total, protein total. I left a little area for blood pressure. And then I also left a little area for blood sugars in case you're tracking that. And then this one I was really excited about, just because I like data so much. And this is easy for just the layperson to do data collection. And so it says energy level and then hunger level, low to high. So you can kind of color that in, and you can make this as pretty as you want. Some people are a little bit more like, oh, I can decorate it. Or you can just knock it off, check, 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 check. And then that way, at the end of the week, you can look and go, oh, wow, maybe I skipped this and my energy was low, or if you're doing intermittent fasting, it's like, wow, my energy was like super high. This is awesome. Gives you actual data instead of just guessing. And then so that's the left side for every single day. And this, we have this for 12 weeks. And then your mood, the other portion here. So we have moods, so that way you can kind of assess how are you feeling, and then symptoms I experience. Now I deal with a lot of gastroesophageal reflux and migraines and so on and so forth. And I was like, gosh, it would have been really nice to be able to then look and see all the food I ate, and then any symptoms that I experienced, that maybe it correlates with the period, or it correlates with maybe you're not sleeping. So you can look and say, gosh, I only got 3 hours of sleep, didn't need a much, it just so much good data. So symptoms I'm experiencing today: heartburn, diarrhea, constipation, headache, fatigue, vomiting, dizziness, low blood sugar. I should have put one high blood sugar, huh? Okay, but low blood sugar, dumping, muscle spasms, migraines, and cramping. Dumping is if you're not the vertical sleeve, you don't have this, but gastric bypass, sometimes people will have what's called dumping. And I put the muscle spasms in there too, because when we were keto, that was an indicator that we needed to take magnesium. And so, you can look at that with your dietitian. If you're having a lot of, gosh, you've had 4 days of muscle spasms, did you take your vitamins, all that good stuff. And then it talks about cardio, what's your daily step? And those are like, if you have the little smart watches, it's kind of nice for that. Did you stretch? And then activity, duration, distance, calories burned, heart rate and pace, strength training. Oh, I love these look at these. So can you see that? And it says, I should just show you the actual physical page because I have all this digitally, but I'm sorry, I'm just so excited about this. You can circle the area. So arms, back, butt, tummy, legs, circle the area of focus. I just thought it was super cute. And then exercise sets. If you did, I have like up to 4 sets, weight, reps, and then any notes that you want to leave for yourself. So again, you have that for every 7 days. So say day 3, so on and so forth. And then you go, let's see. So then at the end of that week, and every week is the same in the sense, there we go. So it goes to week in review. So after day 7, you have your day 7, and then it goes into what's called week in review here. And then that's when we're going to do our weigh-ins, and we're going to check our mental health. Okay. Mental health check-in. I am proud of myself for, so forcing you to maybe even just do your non-scale victories, really forcing you to stop and go, okay, what are 3 things I'm proud of myself for this week? Because positive affirmations matter. Some modifications that I need to make for next week are, so it's not we're listing our failures. It's just like, okay, well, this didn't work. Or maybe I had put that I was going to get 7 hours of sleep and I was lucky to get 5. So I'm going to shoot for 6. What are some modifications that you're like, I don't know what I was thinking, that you just need to maybe change? Gives you a place to mentally get that out of your brain. When I struggle with stress, anxiety, and depression, so what did you do? What did you eat? And I think it's a good place to be really honest with yourself. Not that eating's bad, by the way, you have to eat. But maybe you ate a little bit more of a healthy food, or you stopped, like I deal with binging, right? So you stopped yourself before going like over. I will reach out for support in the following areas. So say you really like it was a tough week, or you really wanted positive affirmations, maybe listing 2 or 3 people that you can call, that it's like, if I'm really struggling, these are my safe people that I can call and just say, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Or, hey, I did it. I did all the things this week. I had all my red flowers. I feel really good. I addressed my mind and my body. I'm really proud of myself. And then you have the body check-in every week at the week's end. So all of your measurements and the week ending weight. And then I have another reminder, color in your daily flower that you showed up. If you lost any pounds, so you get your visual reward, and color in your pounds lost chart. You deserve to see your progress. You are working hard. Way to go. Then it goes into week 2, and it does that for 12 weeks. And then the end of this guided journal, we have, it's a week in review. So then you have my 12-week photo and then my 12-week numbers. So in the beginning, you can see where you started and where you end, because sometimes it's not about the scale moving. It's just about areas getting more toned, because everybody has different goals. And so you can see why I'm really excited about it. If you see of any areas of improvement that you're like, oh, I think you need to include X, Y, Z, or I don't think this really matters. I think ideally I wanted to make this half the size. So I wanted it more like this, oops, there, this size right here. So when it came in, I mean, I knew the size because I put it all together, but when it came in, I was like, oh, it's really big. But then also as I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's probably what I would want, right? I just am trying to think of like making it smaller. I don't know. I actually really like this size, but I would love to hear if it's like, I mean, that's really cool, Chris. I love it, but like it's way too big for me. So let me know. Comments, please, please, if you like it. If you think of any changes, do you think should we change the cover? Anything that you think I can do to make this easier? I priced it on Amazon, where I mean, in all honesty, the way Amazon KDP works, I don't see a lot of money. So for every one of these I sell, I might get $2 or $3. And the same thing with the hardbacks because they're more expensive for Amazon to print. And so I did this as a I think kind of a way to give back, kind of doing something that I really wish I had had at my fingertips. And then I made something similar like than this. It's already on Amazon, is on my store as well. That's specifically designed for keto. And then my next goal is to make this. Forgive me. For post bariatric, I think I want to make almost one for a pre bariatric, and then one that's for post bariatric. And if that's something you'd be interested in, please let me know, because I'd like to know what are 2 or 3 things. Gosh, Christina, it would be so nice to have a guided weight loss journal, or I would love to have an area to put XYZ. Let me build it for you. I obviously it'd be awesome if I could sell 1 million of these. That would be great. But ultimately, I'm trying to create resources that make a difference. And if I sell just 2 or 3 of them, and for those 2 or 3 people, it was like, wow, that like literally changed my life. Or even it was just, wow, that was just really nice to have data to give to my doctor and didn't have to be a life change. That's enough for me. So what would you like to see in a guided journal? What do you wish is out there? And I think I started this video by saying this was the hardest, easiest thing I've ever done. It's easy in the sense that I have the ideas and I understand how to design this stuff just because of what I do for a living. But it was clunky. Let's just say that much. There was a lot of headaches and pulling my hair out and putting it all together. And so I had some people say, why are you showing everybody what's in it? Or maybe somebody else will just go to KDP and make their own. Go for it. If you do it. I would love to see more guided journals that are serving people. I think that's awesome. But I'll tell you this right here, took 80 hours and all it is a workbook. So I hope that it can serve people. Please love your feedback. And as always, thank you for coming in and watching me rant. If you want, if anybody's interested in how to publish KDP, I'd love to make a video for you. Take care. Be blessed.